Alright, good evening. I'm from Crypto Warlord, and this evening we'll be looking at XRP USD starting on the 21 day. As you can see, we have two outlier events occurring on mean reversion. One is increasing negatively correlated, so we can look for the confirmation of denying the mean reversion and our percentage returns. The opportunity to come back and do what it needs done. Let's see if I can drop that there. That would be cool. Okay, cool. So on the 21 day, we see that we're not building data on a few of our other indicators, but that is fine for now. What we can see is that we have been denied off of this mean reversion point, coming with some bullish divergence. Some bearish divergence has kicked in and pushed us down. And we can see that we had a volatility mean reversion point flash to say that volatility will be increasing. Where in these two regions here. So now if we were to throw up a distribution cone, we would pull off here and we'd see that we're at least by the 4th or 5th standard deviation, depending on your period look back. Okay, so we're going to drop down to the 7 day. This will be a quick update of what is going on. Okay, so we have Shannon contracting, and it's still in negative correlation, but it's coming into mean reversion, which is keeping this float. As you can see, as soon as Shannon turned around, as soon as Pearson correlation turned around, our downside targets were harder to hit. What's happened here is we've come through our outliers coming through on a 7 day, so we'll be printing this thing shortly. It will be trying to break through this outlier event that's happening here. Our returns are obviously going closer to the mean, so it's less volatile down here. It's just because the previous two candles are not so big. So these returns are going to fall quite quickly in comparison to this candle. So we'll be looking for a move to play out from here. Obviously, we have entropy contracting, which technically means that the trend is over. Until it decides to turn around and, as we can see, start expanding from. Beautiful. We had a random candle at this yellow point, and that's our random candle, and our trend expanded to the downside. So now we can see that we have come out of our trend bands for our entropy. We've seen that we've flattened a whole bunch of other returns that I factor in. So I'll be waiting for the blue flash to end down here and then go for a trade, taking in consideration that the 21 day has been denied mean reversion. So this 7 day pulling in here will take 3 steps to also get denied on mean reversion. So this kind of point can be cut in at 45 cents. Just pulling it off to say that this would be our weekly mean and this is our daily mean. So it would be ideal to come up and test your weekly mean, which is pretty much the past 7 days worth of price action, and that's up here. So we'll drop it down to the 3 day. Remember, we're contracting here, and if that carries on going up, we will carry on going down. Contraction positively correlated. So this is what's going to help stop the 7 day from continuation on the Shannon, is a move like this. Contraction, which is what's brought us these big wicks and this candle to the downside, is our volatility is contracting and Pearson correlation is positively correlated, which means the price goes down. Now what we'll be looking to see is if Shannon Entropy on the 3 day decides to move into negative correlation and this still carries on with contraction. If that happens, then you'll see the natural float to the upside. Okay, we're having some outlier events here, considering that this candle will close 3 days, closes in 6 hours. So this will be an interesting candle to monitor, especially with mean reversion, so we might have a chase up a little bit later to daily close. Okay, we'll throw it on the 2 day. So we can see that our trend is starting to increase. We're starting to get capped off at our outlier event, but this would be of normal, so there will be divs forming in here that we'll have to look out for. Zoom in on our Shannon Entropy. Contracting positively correlated, that is what has kicked us down. having outlier events. As good as these rips were to the upside, they weren't sustainable. What we're testing here is, let me turn the VRE off. What we're testing here is to see if we can open and close above this log MA. And if we can close to the next candle above this log MA, I usually look for continuation to the upside. Yes, these are a bit oversold, as they would say in RSI terms, but we are hitting our outlier events. And for our outlier event to be true, all we gotta do is close less than 1/10 of a cent higher, and then this I'll look for continuation, contraction, positively correlated. If this event is true, it will match up over here. Our returns are to the downside, but we aren't expanding as of yet. This simple price action movement will lift our longer term trend oscillator just out of the deviation band, and that becomes a completely different trade. That's on the 2-day, so we'll drop it down to the 24-hour on Binance. So we can see that this is looking like it's hunting for some continuation, even though our trend has decreased to the downside. Expansion, we're going sideways. We have maxed out to the downside, but we like to take the trade after the flash is done. Volatility is mean reverting on our very far outlier, so it's telling me we have a more fat tail event, which will be interesting. Bearish div, so this is looking for continuation to the downside. So now we've got to go looking on the lower term time frames to see what is going to support this market structure. So we have a whole bunch of mean reversion points pulling out on the 12-hour. So a move like this to me is expected. There will be some bear div. It just needs to hunt through the mean reversion point and we'll be on our way. This is starting to coil back around, which means we'll be looking for float. And when it starts to coil back around, and if this does expand, this Pearson correlation will just take 2 candles to jump at least back. On the second candle it can jump into the mean reversion point, and that gives you continuation at least up to these yellow points. This is XRP up. Why are we? Oh, there's your leverage trade. So we'll go look at the 12-hour. I should read just about the same, maybe different signals. There you go, a little bit more intricate, same thing. This will be looking to build off of a div. Flashing points, contraction. This is what I like to see. So this is confusion, and that is why we have floated up. So we'll be looking at about the 12-hour needs to look for a signal. So we can see that our faster term scalper is sort of sideways. So this is causing a lot of float, this current pickup from our monthly. Our first outlier on our monthly has been picked up. Drop it to the 3-hour. You can see that there's a lot of confusion in this area, as the 3-hour will match up with the 7-day with regards to trying to push for mean reversion. But remember, the 3-hour and the 7-day can look like the 21-day, which gets denied. So this will be playing underneath one of our reverse wave trends. Put it on the 90-minute. I'll be another 3 minutes and then we'll be done. Returns definitely thrown to the outside. Okay, now we have expansion, so this would be interesting. So now we've thrown it up on the 90-minute. Our Shannon has hit a mean reversion point and we have expansion. Our Pearson correlation has hit a mean reversion point and we have expansion from here. So this is a move that causes for continuation. Let's reset that. Alt R. We can see that it is hunting for trend continuation. We have to look at the 24-hour and its logarithmic thing, moving average, and that was just a couple 1/10 of a cent out. So we actually got to be hunting on 45 minutes. This is quite interesting. I think we'll have to look for resolution on higher term time frames, but we can see that these lower term time frames are trying to kick up. there's a lot of volatility in the market. We're coming from mean reversion points, our daily VR, to our daily S1 and our weekly VR S1. So these are basing off points, and we came back and we've been scalped. So there's a lot of fighting going on, 15 minutes. And from here, we'll be looking for continuation through. So I'd say we'll be basing off of an area like this. As I start to drop in, I need to start putting up those. Contraction significantly correlated, so this will turn around, expand. This should contract, which should bring us a little bit more float down. As we say, we have the 3-day that will be closing in 6 hours time, so we'll just pop back onto the 3-day and see what kind of resolution is trying to be built out of this. We can see that this is usually hunting stops. There's your 2 outlier events, so we throw up a distribution cone somewhere here. We'll actually do this and we'll track it. Start number bars back 1, let's throw up 9. It's got a bit of vola, and these can be our ranges. Okay, so up to 9 coin flips to the upside will pretty much just get us to exactly in line with our previous short sell. And to the downside, we're looking at what? Pretty much this candle close. So this can be our range, let's say for the 5-minute outliers that are happening here, for structure to build out. Now we're going to go throw it onto the 1 minute. If those are still flashing, we have 1 flash, not good enough. There we are. So we'll keep these on, and this will be our range for the 1 minute. Okay, there we've hit our outlier, our trend continuation. We'll wait for Shannon Entropy. We'll wait for, I've just lost its name. Yeah, we'll wait for Entropy to turn around as it's coming through trend. We're just going to smoke into this level more than likely, close a candle, hunt, and usually it will close, hunt, touch, and then that will help it kick it back up. There's your touch. Now we've hit blues. Okay. So we're just monitoring and observing for the moment, and then we'll lift it up onto the 3-day. Cool. Expansion negative correlation. So we may visit this again. Is everyone confused? What are we on? I need my net. I cannot be playing on the 1 minute without my net. Okay, let's get you, stay on, you stay off. Open this. Let me see where we are in the net. Okay, that's fine. This is our main reversion in the net. This is our first touch. Usually I'll look for trend continuation here, and that might be where our VRE is. Like come down, touch, and then if it wants to be bullish, it will be bullish from there. Okay, in the time that it takes, these pink lines can get into this region, which will be a nice confluence. What we will look for is logarithmic trying to cross the mean. This looks like it's trying to charge up, and within like 7 candles, at least try square out and peg back in. Okay, so we throw this up to the 3-day. And this will be those fractions. So just so you guys can have some reference, I think we were looking at the fractions for the 3-day to close somewhere up here. Okay, so that's 4,000 and that's 483. Let's throw it up on the 3-day. Keep an eye on the same logarithmic mean. Take the dev bands off. I'll take the VRE off and wait for it to load. Sorry, 24 hours. 2 candle closes above these, so that's what we're charging for. Or is it 12 hours? Let me double check. Let's run the 1 minute. So that's what we've been scalped. Somewhere here. Oh, internet's so great. So we're looking for the guy that is trying to push through. I'll touch. It looks like it smoked one of them. There we go. And that is 4:52, and we'll just throw it back. So it's our 3 hour, so our 90-minute will also be in the range. And we'll put on our dev bands, and we are looking to be hunting. If we close below this, if we come up, smoke this line, and don't close above this, which will pull these two through. Once this is going to go green. If it does what I think it should do, it will come up, it will touch any one of these blue lines. We'll be testing them. The general idea is this logarithmic line needs to break through here and not fold over wherever this we'll call it the third standard deviation sits. So we bounced off of our mean. This is what we'll be charging for. That is our logarithmic. That is the price action we'll be looking for being denied, which will continue at least our 3-day close and our 21-day close, and that adds us to the downside. This band over here will be the guy that I watch for trend continuation to the downside. Have a good day further.